Being articulate is a powerful skill, one that allows you to express your thoughts clearly and confidently. Whether in everyday conversations, business meetings, or public speaking, the ability to communicate effectively sets you apart from others. People who articulate are often seen as more competent, trustworthy, and influential, as their ability to convey their ideas resonates with others in a meaningful way. The power of being articulate lies not just in the words you speak, but in the clarity and confidence with which you express them. This clarity not only enhances your personal and professional relationships, but also builds your credibility and influence in various aspects of life. Articulation is not just about speaking well. It's about speaking with intention. When you communicate clearly, you make it easier for others to understand and follow your thoughts, which helps you to create stronger connections. Whether you're presenting an idea to a group or engaging in one-on-one conversations, the ability to articulate your thoughts in a way that others can easily comprehend is invaluable. The clearer your communication, the more likely it is that your message will be received as intended, reducing misunderstandings and confusion. This fosters trust and builds rapport, both of which are crucial for developing meaningful relationships and establishing your credibility. One of the key elements of being articulate is the ability to convey your message with confidence. Confidence in communication doesn't mean speaking without hesitation or self-doubt, but rather speaking in a way that reflects certainty and clarity. When you communicate confidently, people are more likely to pay attention to what you're saying and take your words seriously. Confidence helps to make your ideas compelling and persuasive, ensuring that your message leaves a lasting impact. It's important to note that confidence and articulation doesn't come overnight. It is a skill that takes practice and self-awareness, but once mastered, it becomes second nature. Articulation also plays a significant role in overcoming barriers to communication. Many people struggle with expressing themselves, whether due to nervousness, fear of judgment, or a lack of clarity in their thoughts. Being articulate helps you to navigate these challenges by providing the tools needed to organize your thoughts and express them in a way that is easily understood. It allows you to speak with purpose, making sure that every word you use serves a specific function in conveying your message. This makes your communication more effective and ensures that your listeners remain engaged rather than distracted by unclear or vague statements. In addition to personal and professional relationships, being articulate is a key factor in influencing others. Whether you're trying to persuade someone, negotiate a deal, or present a compelling argument, the ability to articulate your thoughts clearly can make all the difference. People are more likely to be persuaded by someone who communicates their ideas with clarity and conviction. In situations where you need to make an impact, whether in a presentation, debate, or discussion, your ability to articulate your thoughts effectively determines how your ideas are received and whether or not they resonate with your audience. This makes articulation a critical skill for leadership and success in many fields. The importance of articulation also extends beyond speaking to how we listen and respond. Effective communicators understand that articulation is a two-way process that involves not only expressing their own thoughts clearly, but also understanding others. By listening carefully and responding thoughtfully, you can engage in more productive and meaningful conversations. Being articulate doesn't just mean speaking well. It also means being able to engage with others in a way that fosters understanding and mutual respect. This creates an environment where ideas can be shared freely and solutions can be developed collaboratively. Articulation isn't about using big words or complicated language. In fact, one of the most important aspects of being articulate is the ability to simplify complex ideas without diluting their meaning. Being able to take a complicated concept and break it down into easily understandable terms is a mark of true articulation. This is especially important in professional settings, where the ability to explain technical or specialized information in a clear and accessible way can set you apart as an expert in your field. Whether you're explaining a new product to a potential client or offering advice to a colleague, the ability to communicate with clarity is essential to getting your point across effectively. In our increasingly interconnected world, where communication happens across various platforms and mediums, being articulate has become even more essential. Whether you're speaking in person, writing an email, or participating in a video conference, the ability to express yourself clearly is crucial. The digital age has made communication faster and more immediate, but it has also made it more challenging to convey nuance and meaning. Being articulate means knowing how to adapt your message to the medium and audience, ensuring that your words have the desired effect regardless of how they are delivered. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with information, clear and concise communication is a rare and valuable skill. The benefits of being articulate are far-reaching. It enables you to express yourself effectively, build stronger relationships, and influence others. It also enhances your personal growth by helping you develop greater self-awareness and confidence. Being articulate isn't just about speaking well. It's about thinking clearly and presenting your thoughts in a way that others can easily understand and appreciate. As you develop your articulation skills, you'll find that your ability to communicate effectively opens doors in both your personal and professional life. Whether you're advancing in your career, growing your personal network, or simply connecting with others on a deeper level, the ability to articulate your thoughts clearly and confidently is one of the most powerful tools you can possess. In summary, being articulate is a skill that transcends just speaking well. It involves clarity of thought, confidence in expression, and the ability to connect with others through communication. The power of articulation lies in its ability to enhance every interaction, helping you to navigate complex conversations, influence others, and foster understanding. It is a skill that can be developed over time with practice and self-awareness, and once mastered, it becomes a tool that can unlock countless opportunities and relationships. Becoming more articulate is not just about improving your speech, but about improving your ability to communicate and connect with the world around you. Articulation, in its simplest form, refers to the clarity and coherence with which we express our thoughts through speech or writing. While many people associate being articulate with speaking well or having an extensive vocabulary, true articulation is much more than just delivering words in an impressive manner. It's the process of conveying ideas with precision and clarity, ensuring that your audience can easily understand and follow your message. Being articulate isn't about using complicated words to sound sophisticated, but rather about ensuring that your thoughts are communicated in a way that is clear, concise, and effective. At the core of articulation is the concept of effective communication. Effective communication means that the message you're trying to convey is not only heard, but understood as well. It involves an understanding of your audience and the ability to adapt your message to their level of understanding, preferences, and needs. This doesn't mean simplify your ideas, but it means ensuring that they are presented in a way that resonates with your listeners. This skill is especially crucial in both personal and professional environments, where clear communication can strengthen relationships, avoid misunderstandings, and improve collaboration. To understand what it truly means to be articulate, it's important to explore the underlying components that contribute to articulation. These components include organization, clarity, precision, and delivery. When these elements are mastered, they work together to ensure that your message is communicated effectively. Organization refers to how well your ideas are structured and arranged. If your thoughts are disorganized or jump from one point to another without clear transitions, your message may be difficult to follow, no matter how eloquent your delivery. Clarity involves being able to express your thoughts without ambiguity. It means using language that is straightforward and easy to comprehend. When people speak without clear articulation, it's often because they use too many filler words, overcomplicate their sentences, or leave out important details that would help their audience understand the core of their message. By being clear, you help your audience grasp the intended meaning without confusion or misinterpretation. Precision, on the other hand, refers to being specific and direct in your communication. Rather than speaking in vague terms or overgeneralizations, being precise allows you to convey exactly what you mean. The more precise you are, the less room there is for misinterpretation. For example, instead of saying, "I was busy today," saying, "I had back-to-back meetings all day," provides a clearer and more vivid picture of your day's activities. Delivery is perhaps the most immediate aspect of articulation. It includes your tone of voice, pacing, and body language, all of which can affect how your message is received. If your tone is flat or monotone, even the clearest ideas may fail to capture attention. If you speak too quickly, your audience may have trouble keeping up and understanding your points. On the other hand, if you speak too slowly or hesitantly, you risk losing the interest of your audience. Good delivery engages your audience and reinforces your message, while poor delivery can detract from even the most well-thought-out ideas. While articulation often refers to speech, it is also crucial in written communication. The ability to write clearly and concisely is just as important as speaking well. In today's digital age, much of our communication happens through emails, text, and online messaging. These written exchanges require the same level of precision and clarity that oral communication does. Being articulate in writing means being able to organize your thought effectively, using language that is easy to understand, and ensuring that your tone and intent are conveyed properly. Written communication often lacks the immediate feedback we receive from face-to-face conversations. So it's even more important to be clear and precise in our writing to avoid any miscommunication. One of the biggest misconceptions about articulation is that it requires you to be a naturally gifted speaker or writer. While some people may have a natural ability to express themselves clearly, the truth is that articulation is a skill that anyone can learn and improve with practice. Like any skill, it requires awareness, effort, and a commitment to continuous improvement. Some individuals may struggle with organizing their thoughts, while others may have difficulty finding the right words to express themselves. The good news is that these challenges can be overcome with practice and intentional effort. The more you work on articulating your thoughts clearly, the more natural it will become. The first step in becoming more articulate is understanding the importance of what you say and how you say it. If you're not mindful of your message or your delivery, it's easy to become vague or unclear. By recognizing that effective communication is a skill, you can begin to focus on improving it. This means paying attention to your word choice, your pacing, and your body language. It also means recognizing the needs of your audience and tailoring your message to resonate with them. Whether you're giving a presentation, participating in a meeting, or having a conversation with a friend, being mindful of how you communicate is the first step toward becoming more articulate. Another critical element of articulation is self-confidence. People who struggle with articulation often lack confidence in their ability to express themselves, which can cause them to speak hesitantly or avoid communicating altogether. Confidence in articulation comes from practice and experience. The more you practice speaking clearly and expressing your thoughts effectively, the more confident you'll become in your ability to communicate. This confidence allows you to speak without fear of judgment, which in turn makes your communication more natural and effective. Articulation also involves being adaptable to the context in which you are communicating. The way you articulate your thoughts will differ depending on whether you are speaking with a colleague, a boss, a friend, or a stranger. Being able to adapt your communication style to fit the situation is an important part of being articulate. For example, a formal presentation in a business meeting will require a different tone and structure than a casual conversation at a coffee shop. Understanding the context and adjusting your delivery accordingly is key to ensuring that your message is understood and well received. Effective communication is a foundation of successful personal and professional relationships. It allows individuals to connect, share ideas, express emotions, and solve problems together. However, effective communication isn't something that happens automatically. It's the result of deliberate effort, awareness, and practice. In this chapter, we will explore the key building blocks of effective communication that contribute to articulating your thoughts with clarity and precision. These elements include active listening, clarity of thought, body language, emotional intelligence, feedback, and empathy. Each of these components plays a crucial role in ensuring that your message is both understood and appreciated. The first building block of effective communication is active listening. Many people believe communication is primarily about speaking, but listening is just as, if not more, important. Active listening means fully focusing on the speaker, understanding their message, responding thoughtfully, and remembering what was said. It involves more than just hearing words. It requires an active effort to comprehend the content of the message, interpret accurately, and provide a relevant and considered response. Active listening can be seen as a skill that complements articulation because it ensures that both parties are on the same page. By truly listening, you demonstrate respect for the other person's perspective and enhance the likelihood of meaningful and productive conversation. One of the key elements of active listening is eliminating distractions. Whether in a face-to-face conversation or over the phone, distractions such as checking your phone, multitasking, or thinking about your next response can hinder your ability to understand the message being communicated. By giving the speaker your undivided attention, You show that you value what they have to say and are committed to engaging in the conversation. A key aspect of this is maintaining eye contact, which signals attentiveness, as well as nodding occasionally to show acknowledgement. These nonverbal cues reinforce the importance of the message and indicate that you're actively engaged in the conversation. The second building block is clarity of thought. Before you can articulate your ideas clearly, you need to have a clear understanding of them yourself. If your thoughts are disorganized or muddled, it's difficult to communicate effectively. The clearer your thinking, the easier it is to express your ideas coherently. This doesn't necessarily mean that every idea needs to be perfectly structured, but it does mean that you should take the time to gather your thoughts before speaking. The best way to achieve clarity of thought is through preparation and reflection. For example, if you need to communicate a complex idea or argument, it helps to outline the main points beforehand, so you can ensure they flow logically and build on one another. Clarity of thought also involves avoiding cognitive biases that can cloud your judgment or cause you to speak impulsively. It's easy to let emotions, preconceived notions, or personal experiences influence your communication in ways that make your message unclear or skewed. By taking a moment to reflect on your thoughts and consider the context and purpose of your message, you can ensure that your communication is clear, objective, and effective. Body language is another essential building block of effective communication. While words are important, much of the meaning we derive from communication comes from nonverbal cues. Body language includes facial expressions, gestures, posture, and eye contact, all of which help convey emotions, intentions, and attitudes. It's important to remember that body language can sometimes speak louder than words, and can either enhance or detract from the message you are trying to communicate. For instance, maintaining an open posture and making direct eye contact with the person you are speaking can convey confidence, attentiveness, and honesty. Conversely, crossed arms or avoiding eye contact may signal discomfort, disinterest, or even dishonesty. By being aware of your body language and ensuring that it aligns with your verbal message, you can strengthen your communication and build trust with your audience. This is especially important in face-to-face interactions, where nonverbal cues often provide more context than the words themselves. Emotional intelligence is a building block that cannot be overlooked when discussing effective communication. Emotional intelligence refers to the ability to recognize, understand, and manage both your own emotions and the emotions of others. It plays a significant role in how we interpret and respond to messages. For example, if someone is speaking to you in an emotional or distressed state, emotional intelligence enables you to recognize their feelings and adjust your response to be more empathetic and supportive. On the other hand, if you're feeling frustrated or upset during conversation, emotional intelligence helps you manage those emotions so that you can remain calm and articulate. Emotional intelligence also includes being attuned to the emotional dynamics of the conversation, understanding the feelings behind the words. Whether it's anger, sadness, excitement, or fear, allows you to respond more effectively and appropriately. This makes communication more meaningful and promotes mutual understanding, which is essential for resolving conflicts and fostering healthy relationships. Another critical component of effective communication is feedback. Feedback serves as a tool for growth and improvement in communication. It can be provided verbally or non-verbally and is essential for understanding whether your message has been received as intended. In conversations, feedback allows you to gauge whether the other person understands your message or if you need to clarify certain points. For example, if you notice that the listener looks confused or is asking follow-up questions, it may indicate that your message needs further explanation. Likewise, providing feedback to others is equally important. It's a way of encouraging, correcting, or clarifying the ideas being shared. Offering feedback in a constructive and supportive manner can promote better communication and help both parties develop their communication skills. When giving feedback, it's essential to be specific, focus on the message rather than the person, and deliver it in a respectful tone. Constructive feedback fosters growth and improves the overall quality of communication between individuals. Empathy is another key building block of effective communication. Effective communication is a foundation of successful personal and professional relationships. It allows individuals to connect, share ideas, express emotions, and solve problems together. However, effective communication isn't something that happens automatically. It's the result of deliberate effort, awareness, and practice. In this chapter, We will explore the key building blocks of effective communication that contribute to articulating your thoughts with clarity and precision. These elements include active listening, clarity of thought, body language, emotional intelligence, feedback, and empathy. Each of these components plays a crucial role in ensuring that your message is both understood and appreciated. The first building block of effective communication is active listening. Many people believe communication is primarily about speaking, but listening is just as, if not more important. Active listening means fully focusing on the speaker, understanding their message, responding thoughtfully, and remembering what was said. It involves more than just hearing words. It requires an active effort to comprehend the content of the message, interpret accurately, and provide a relevant and considered response. Active listening can be seen as a skill that complements articulation because it ensures that both parties are on the same page. By truly listening, you demonstrate respect for the other person's perspective and enhance the likelihood of a meaningful and productive conversation. One of the key elements of active listening is eliminating distractions. Whether in a face-to-face conversation or over the phone, distractions such as checking your phone, multitasking, or thinking about your next response can hinder your ability to understand the message being communicated. By giving the speaker your undivided attention, you show that you value what they have to say and are committed to engaging in the conversation. A key aspect of this is maintaining eye contact, which signals attentiveness, as well as nodding occasionally to show acknowledgement. These nonverbal cues reinforce the importance of the message and indicate that you're actively engaged in the conversation. The second building block is clarity of thought. Before you can articulate your ideas clearly, you need to have a clear understanding of them yourself. If your thoughts are disorganized or muddled, it's difficult to communicate effectively. The clearer your thinking, the easier it is to express your ideas coherently. This doesn't necessarily mean that every idea needs to be perfectly structured, but it does mean that you should take the time to gather your thoughts before speaking. The best way to achieve clarity of thought is through preparation and reflection. For example, if you need to communicate a complex idea or argument, it helps to outline the main points beforehand, so you can ensure they flow logically and build on one another. Clarity of thought also involves avoiding cognitive biases that can cloud your judgment or cause you to speak impulsively. It's easy to let emotions, preconceived notions, or personal experiences influence your communication in ways that make your message unclear or skewed. By taking a moment to reflect on your thoughts and consider the context and purpose of your message, you can ensure that your communication is clear, objective, and effective. Body language is another essential building block of effective communication. While words are important, much of the meaning we derive from communication comes from nonverbal cues. Body language includes facial expressions, gestures, posture, and eye contact, all of which help convey emotions, intentions, and attitudes. It's important to remember that body language can sometimes speak louder than words, and it can either enhance or detract from the message you are trying to communicate. For instance, maintaining an open posture and making direct eye contact with the person you are speaking to can convey confidence, attentiveness, and honesty. Conversely, crossed arms or avoiding eye contact may signal discomfort, disinterest, or even dishonesty. By being aware of your body language and ensuring that it aligns with your verbal message, you can strengthen your communication and build trust with your audience. This is especially important in face-to-face interactions, where nonverbal cues often provide more context than the words themselves. Emotional intelligence is a building block that cannot be overlooked when discussing effective communication. Emotional intelligence refers to the ability to recognize, understand, and manage both your own emotions and the emotions of others. It plays a significant role in how we interpret and respond to messages. For example, if someone is speaking to you in an emotional or distressed state, emotional intelligence enables you to recognize their feelings and adjust your response to be more empathetic and supportive. On the other hand, if you're feeling frustrated or upset during conversation, emotional intelligence helps you manage those emotions so that you can remain calm and articulate. Emotional intelligence also includes being attuned to the emotional dynamics of the conversation. Understanding the feelings behind the words, whether it's anger, sadness, excitement, or fear, allows you to respond more effectively and appropriately. This makes communication more meaningful and promotes mutual understanding, which is essential for resolving conflicts and fostering healthy relationships. Another critical component of effective communication is feedback. Feedback serves as a tool for growth and improvement in communication. It can be provided verbally or non-verbally and is essential for understanding whether your message has been received as intended. In conversations, feedback allows you to gauge whether the other person understands your message or if you need to clarify certain points. For example, if you notice that the listener looks confused or is asking follow-up questions, it may indicate that your message needs further explanation. Likewise, providing feedback to others is equally important. It's a way of encouraging, correcting, or clarifying the ideas being shared. Offering feedback in a constructive and supportive manner can promote better communication and help both parties develop their communication skills. When giving feedback, it's essential to be specific, focus on the message rather than the person, and deliver it in a respectful tone. Constructive feedback fosters growth and improves the overall quality of communication between individuals. Empathy is another key building block of effective communication. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. It involves putting yourself in the other person's shoes and seeing the world from their perspective. When you communicate with empathy, you acknowledge the other person's feelings, thoughts, and experiences, which helps to create a sense of connection and trust. Empathetic communication involves listening not only to the words being said, but also to the emotions behind those words. For instance, if someone is sharing a difficult experience, responding with empathy could involve validating their emotions by saying something like, "I can imagine how challenging that must be for you." Empathy also plays an important role in conflict resolution. By being empathetic, you can approach disagreements or misunderstandings with a mindset of understanding and cooperation rather than defensiveness. When people feel heard and understood, they are more likely to engage in productive dialogue and work toward a resolution that benefits both parties. Finally, effective communication requires the ability to adjust to different communication styles. People have unique preferences when it comes to how they like to communicate. Some individuals prefer direct, concise communication, while others might lean toward a more expressive and detailed approach. Being adaptable to these differences ensures that your message is received well, regardless of the communication style of the other person. This adaptability allows you to communicate in a way that resonates with others, making it more likely that they will respond positively and constructively. In conclusion, the building blocks of effective communication: active listening, clarity of thought, body language, emotional intelligence, feedback, empathy, and adaptability work together to form the foundation for meaningful and successful communication. Mastering these elements requires self-awareness practice and an openness to improving your communication skills. By focusing on these building blocks, you can enhance your ability to articulate your thoughts, connect with others, and engage in more productive and positive interactions. Effective communication, as we discussed earlier, relies on a series of building blocks that contribute to articulating thoughts with clarity and precision. However, to become more articulate, one must recognize that it's not only about expressing ideas, but also ensuring that these ideas are easily understood and resonate with the audience. In this chapter, we will delve into the importance of confidence in articulation, how it can be developed, and the role it plays in successful communication. Whether in one-on-one conversations, public speaking, or professional settings, confidence is an essential factor that directly impacts the clarity and effectiveness of your communication. Confidence is the foundation of being articulate. When you communicate with confidence, your words become more powerful, and your message is more likely to be received with respect and understanding. Confidence is often the first thing that others pick up on in a conversation. If you speak hesitantly or lack conviction in your words, it can create doubt in the listener's mind, which may undermine your message. On the other hand, when you communicate with confidence, you project authority, clarity, and self-assurance, which helps you build credibility and trust with your audience. One of the key aspects of confidence in communication is the belief in the value of your own thoughts and ideas. Many individuals struggle with self-doubt and fear of judgment, which can hold them back from speaking clearly or sharing their thoughts at all. This lack of confidence often stems from an underlying fear that others won't value what they have to say or that their ideas are not worth expressing. Building confidence requires overcoming this fear and recognizing that your perspective is valuable. Regardless of how much experience or expertise you may have, your unique voice and point of view deserve to be heard. A significant way to develop confidence in articulation is through preparation. The more prepared you are, the more confident you will feel about sharing your thoughts. Preparation allows you to organize your ideas, ensuring that your message is clear and coherent. Whether you're giving a presentation, participating in a meeting, or having a conversation, preparation helps reduce uncertainty and anxiety. It also allows you to anticipate questions or challenges and think through possible responses, which adds to your confidence when the time comes to speak. While preparation is vital, confidence also stems from experience. The more you practice communicating, the more comfortable and confident you will become in expressing your thoughts. Public speaking, for example, is a skill that requires consistent practice to improve. The first time you speak in front of a group, you may feel nervous or unsure of yourself. However, with each subsequent experience, you gain more confidence in your ability to articulate your ideas and engage with your audience. This is true for any form of communication, whether it's informal conversations or more formal presentations. Repeated practice not only improves your speaking ability, but also reinforces your confidence in your capacity to express your thoughts effectively. The way you physically present yourself also plays a significant role in conveying confidence. Body language is a powerful tool that supports your verbal communication. When you speak, your posture, gestures, and facial expressions can all communicate confidence, or the lack of it. Standing tall with an open posture, maintaining eye contact, and using deliberate gestures can all signal self-assurance. These physical cues can help reinforce the strength of your words and make you appear more authoritative and credible. Conversely, slouching, avoiding eye contact, or fidgeting can create an impression of uncertainty or lack of confidence, even if your words are well articulated. Additionally, your tone of voice is an essential component of confident communication. A monotone voice or one that is too soft can convey disinterest or lack of conviction. On the other hand, a strong, clear, and dynamic tone of voice can command attention and demonstrate confidence in what you're saying. When speaking with confidence, your voice tends to reflect your enthusiasm and belief in the message you're delivering. A well-modulated voice, with appropriate pauses and emphasis, helps keep your audience engaged and reinforces the clarity of your message. One common barrier to confident communication is the fear of judgment or criticism. Many people hesitate to speak out because they worry about being judged or making mistakes. This fear of judgment can be paralyzing, preventing individuals from expressing themselves at all or causing them to speak in a way that's overly cautious or hesitant. However, it's important to realize that perfection is not the goal of communication. Connection and understanding are. Mistakes are inevitable, and they shouldn't deter you from speaking. In fact, acknowledging mistakes can demonstrate humility and self-awareness, which often fosters greater respect from others. The key to overcoming this fear is to shift your focus from the fear of judgment to the value of sharing your ideas. Remember, every conversation is an opportunity to express yourself, learn, and grow. Another challenge to building confidence and articulation is the tendency to overthink. Overthinking can lead to paralysis by analysis, where you second-guess every word or worry too much about how others will perceive you. This can result in hesitancy, stuttering, or rambling, none of which are conducive to clear articulation. Overcoming this requires mindfulness and practice. It's essential to remind yourself that communication is not about being perfect. It's about being clear, authentic, and engaging. By focusing on the content of your message rather than constantly evaluating how you are being perceived, you allow yourself to communicate more naturally and confidently. A key part of confidence in communication is the ability to manage nervousness or anxiety. Many people feel anxious about speaking, particularly in front of a group. This anxiety can manifest in physical symptoms, such as a shaky voice, sweaty palms, or a racing heartbeat. These physical responses can further diminish confidence, creating a cycle of fear and self-doubt. The good news is that there are techniques to manage these feelings and calm your nerves. Deep breathing, visualization, and positive affirmations can help reduce anxiety and restore confidence before speaking. Additionally, adopting a mindset that views communication as a two-way exchange rather than performance can alleviate some of the pressure. When you see communication as a shared experience, you're less likely to fixate on how you're being perceived, allowing you to focus on the message itself. Confidence and articulation also requires a willingness to engage in dialogue, even when there is uncertainty or disagreement. Confident communicators are comfortable navigating challenging conversations, even when their views differ from others. This doesn't mean being rigid or confrontational. Rather, it's about being open to listening, responding thoughtfully, and standing by your beliefs with respect. Confidence allows you to express your opinions clearly without fear of conflict or rejection. It empowers you to engage in meaningful exchanges, where ideas can be debated and refined, ultimately leading to better understanding and collaboration. In conclusion, confidence plays an essential role in being articulate. It enhances your ability to communicate your ideas clearly, project authority, and engage effectively with others. Building confidence in your articulation requires preparation, practice, self-awareness, and a willingness to embrace imperfections. By focusing on improving your confidence, you'll find that your communication becomes more impactful, persuasive, and engaging. Whether you're speaking in public or having a one-on-one conversation, confidence will enable you to express yourself more effectively and leave a lasting impression on those you interact with. Confidence isn't just a trait. It's a skill that can be developed and strengthened, and with it, you'll become a more articulate and compelling communicator. In any communication, whether it's a casual conversation, a business meeting, or a public speech, how you present yourself physically plays an enormous role in how your message is received. This is where body language becomes a powerful tool for articulating your thoughts. In this chapter, we will explore the role of body language in effective communication and how mastering nonverbal cues can enhance your articulation skills. Understanding the nuances of body language will not only help you deliver your message more clearly, but also give you the ability to read and adapt to the nonverbal signals of others, creating a more dynamic and responsive communication experience. Body language is one of the most immediate forms of communication. It involves all the nonverbal cues we use, such as gestures, posture, facial expressions, eye contact, and even the way we move or position ourselves. In many ways, body language speaks louder than words. Research has shown that nonverbal cues account for up to 93% of communication, with tone of voice and body language contributing the majority of the message. This means that when you are speaking, your body is sending signals that can either reinforce or contradict the words you say. One of the most crucial elements of body language in communication is posture. Your posture can signal a variety of messages about your confidence, openness, and engagement. For example, standing tall with your shoulders back conveys confidence and authority, while slouching may signal disinterest, insecurity, or even discomfort. In conversations, maintaining an open posture, such as facing the person you're speaking to with uncrossed arms, can help foster a sense of connection and trust. Conversely, crossing your arms or legs, leaning away from someone, or turning your body slightly away from them can create a barrier, both physically and psychologically. This kind of closed-off body language often signals that you're not fully engaged or are emotionally distancing yourself. Posture also plays a significant role in how others perceive your message. If you maintain an upright posture and project an air of confidence, it can help you command attention and convey authority. This is particularly important in professional settings, such as meetings or presentations, where strong posture can reinforce your message and show that you are confident in the ideas you are presenting. Additionally, standing or sitting with good posture makes it easier to breathe and speak clearly, which in turn can improve your articulation. Another critical aspect of body language is gestures. Gestures include any hand movements, facial expressions, or other motions that accompany speech. While these may seem small or insignificant, they can greatly enhance or diminish the effectiveness of your communication. For example, when making a point, a well-timed hand gesture can help emphasize your words and make your message more memorable. A thumbs up, for instance, can signify approval, while pointing to an object can help draw attention to it. These gestures not only reinforce your verbal message, but also help guide the listener's attention, making it easier for them to understand and follow your points. However, it is important to remember that gestures should be used sparingly and intentionally. Overusing gestures or making exaggerated movements can become distracting and can even detract from your message. Similarly, fidgeting or using excessive hand movements can signal nervousness or a lack of control. To use gestures effectively, focus on natural, fluid movements that complement the rhythm of your speech. Practice using them intentionally to underline key points, making your communication more engaging and dynamic. Facial expressions are another essential element of body language. Our faces are incredibly expressive and can convey a wide range of emotions, from happiness and excitement to anger and frustration. When speaking, your facial expression should match the emotion or tone of the message you're conveying. If you're sharing good news or excitement, a smile can help convey warmth and positivity, while a furrowed brow can signal concern or seriousness. Being aware of your facial expressions and ensuring they align with your message can significantly enhance the clarity and impact of your communication. For example, if you're giving a presentation on a serious topic but your face remains neutral or overly relaxed, the audience may perceive your message as less important or engaging. On the other hand, if you display enthusiasm or empathy through your facial expressions, you'll better capture your audience's attention and demonstrate that you're invested in the message you're delivering. It's important to check in with your facial expressions during conversations and presentations to make sure they accurately reflect the emotions you want to communicate. Eye contact is one of the most powerful and effective forms of body language. It is often seen as a sign of attentiveness, sincerity, and engagement. Maintaining appropriate eye contact with the person you are speaking to shows that you are present, focused, and confident in what you're saying. Eye contact helps establish trust and allows you to gauge how your listener is reacting to your message, providing valuable feedback on whether you need to adjust your delivery. However, it's important to strike a balance. Too little eye contact can come across as evasive or untrustworthy, while too much eye contact can be perceived as aggressive or intimidating. A good rule of thumb is to maintain eye contact for about 50 to 60% of the conversation, which helps to create a sense of connection without overwhelming the other person. In addition to these elements, another important aspect of body language is the way you use space during communication. Proxemics, the study of personal space, refers to how we position ourselves relative to others during a conversation. The distance you maintain when speaking to someone can affect how your message is received. Standing too close to someone may make them feel uncomfortable or encroached upon, while standing too far away can create a sense of distance or disengagement. Adjusting your proximity based on the context and the nature of the conversation can help you communicate more effectively. In casual settings, personal space may be closer, while in formal or professional settings, it's generally more appropriate to maintain a bit more distance. Movement also plays a role in body language. How you move while speaking, whether it's pacing during a presentation, using hand gestures, or shifting your weight, can all send signals to your audience. For instance, pacing can convey nervousness or impatience, while controlled movements suggest calmness and focus. It's essential to be mindful of how you move and ensure that your physical movements support the message you're delivering. Excessive movement, like swaying or pacing nervously, can distract the audience, while stillness or deliberate movement can enhance the impact of your words. In the context of public speaking or presentations, the way you move can influence how confident and authoritative you appear. Moving purposely on stage, using gestures to emphasize key points, and maintaining strong eye contact with your audience can help you appear more engaged and confident. Emotional intelligence, EI, is an essential component of effective communication and plays a crucial role in becoming more articulate. In essence, emotional intelligence involves the ability to recognize, understand, manage, and regulate emotions, both your own and those of others. Being emotionally intelligent in communication helps you navigate complex social interactions, respond thoughtfully to emotions, and express yourself in a way that is empathetic, clear, and considerate. In this chapter, we will delve into the concept of emotional intelligence and explore how cultivating it can significantly enhance your ability to articulate your thoughts and connect with others on a deeper level. The concept of emotional intelligence was popularized by psychologist Daniel Goleman, who identified 5 key components: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Each of these components plays a vital role in communication and contributes to more effective and meaningful interactions. By cultivating emotional intelligence, you can improve your ability to communicate clearly, respond appropriately to others, and foster stronger, more positive relationships. The first component of emotional intelligence is self-awareness, which refers to the ability to recognize and understand your own emotions as they arise. Self-awareness is a foundation of emotional intelligence because it allows you to understand how your emotions influence your thoughts and behaviors. For example, if you're feeling anxious during a conversation, self-awareness enables you to recognize that anxiety and manage it before it affects the clarity of your speech or your ability to listen effectively. When you are aware of your emotional state, you are less likely to react impulsively or let negative emotions cloud your judgment. Self-awareness also involves recognizing your strengths and weaknesses in communication. For example, if you are aware that you tend to interrupt others when speaking, you can actively work on improving your listening skills to ensure that others have the opportunity to express themselves fully. Being self-aware allows you to identify patterns in your behavior and communication style, which can help you adjust and improve over time. The second component of emotional intelligence is self-regulation. Self-regulation refers to the ability to manage your emotions in healthy and constructive ways. In communication, self-regulation helps you remain calm, composed, and focused, even when faced with challenging or emotionally charged situations. For instance, if you're in a heated argument and feel frustration rising, self-regulation enables you to take a step back, breathe, and choose to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Self-regulation is particularly important in maintaining clarity in communication. When emotions are allowed to run unchecked, they can cloud your thinking, leading to poorly articulated or even inappropriate responses. By practicing self-regulation, you can prevent emotions such as anger, anxiety, or stress from overwhelming you, allowing you to communicate in a calm, clear, and effective manner. The third component is motivation, which refers to the internal drive to achieve goals and pursue meaningful outcomes. In the context of communication, motivation helps you stay focused on your purpose and objectives, even when faced with obstacles or distractions. Motivated communicators are driven by a genuine desire to connect with others, convey important information, or foster understanding. This sense of purpose and passion enhances the clarity and impact of your message. Motivation in communication also helps you persevere through difficult conversations. Whether you're addressing a challenging issue at work or trying to resolve a conflict with a friend, motivation keeps you focused on finding a solution and achieving a positive outcome. When you're motivated to communicate effectively, you're more likely to be patient, persistent, and dedicated to achieving your communication goals. The fourth component of emotional intelligence is empathy, which is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. Empathy plays a critical role in becoming a more articulate communicator because it allows you to tune into the emotions, perspectives, and needs of others. When you're empathetic, you're able to respond in a way that is not only clear, but also sensitive to the other person's emotional state. This helps create a stronger connection, fosters trust, and improves the overall quality of the conversation. Empathy in communication involves active listening, understanding nonverbal cues, and responding in a way that demonstrates that you value the other person's feelings. For example, if someone is sharing a difficult experience with you, empathy allows you to validate their emotions by acknowledging their pain, offering support, and providing comforting words. By being empathetic, you communicate that you understand their perspective and are invested in the conversation. This makes the communication more meaningful and helps ensure that your message is well received. The fifth and final component of emotional intelligence is social skills, which refers to the ability to navigate social interactions, build relationships, and manage conflicts. Strong social skills are essential for becoming a more articulate communicator because they enable you to engage with others in a way that fosters cooperation, trust, and understanding. Social skills encompass a range of abilities, such as effective listening, giving and receiving feedback, and adapting your communication style to different situations. Effective communication is an essential skill in all aspects of life. Whether it's in personal relationships, professional environments, or public speaking, the ability to express oneself clearly and persuasively is an invaluable asset. However, communication involves more than just speaking. It also includes listening, understanding, and responding effectively to the emotions and ideas of others. A critical factor in this process is emotional intelligence, which helps people communicate more effectively by understanding and managing both their own emotions and emotions of others. Emotional intelligence enhances articulation by enabling individuals to express themselves in ways that are both clear and empathetic, fostering stronger relationships and clearer conversations. Understanding emotional intelligence and its relationship to articulation is essential to becoming a more effective communicator. At its core, emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage one's emotions, while also recognizing and influencing the emotions of others. This emotional awareness allows individuals to communicate in ways that resonate with their audience, adjust their tone and delivery to suit the context, and create meaningful connections with others. Emotional intelligence involves several key components, including self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, motivation, and social skills, each of which plays a vital role in articulating one's thoughts clearly and persuasively. A key element in effective communication is emotional awareness. When you are emotionally aware, you have a clear understanding of how your emotions influence your thoughts and actions. For example, if you feel nervous during a conversation or presentation, emotional awareness helps you recognize these feelings and take steps to manage them. Instead of letting anxiety disrupt your ability to speak clearly, you can focus on calming yourself and maintaining control of your emotions. This awareness allows you to communicate more effectively, as you are less likely to be overwhelmed by your emotions, ensuring that your message is conveyed with clarity and precision. Self-regulation plays a crucial role in maintaining composure during communication. This ability to manage emotions ensures that they do not interfere with how you express yourself. In high-pressure situations, such as job interviews, meetings, or confrontations, self-regulation helps you stay calm and focused, allowing you to articulate your ideas clearly without being distracted by negative emotions. Whether you feel anxious, frustrated, or excited, the ability to regulate your emotional responses allows you to remain in control of your communication. This control is vital in high-stakes conversations, where the clarity and confidence of your message are crucial to success. For instance, in a heated debate or during a challenging negotiation, the ability to stay calm and composed enables you to articulate your points more effectively. If emotions like anger or frustration take over, your communication may become muddled, defensive, or overly emotional, making it difficult to connect with the listener. On the other hand, by managing your emotional state, you can respond thoughtfully and respectfully, ensuring that your message is received in the most productive way. This makes self-regulation a cornerstone of articulate communication, as it ensures that you can convey your ideas without being derailed by emotional distractions. Another significant factor that enhances your ability to articulate effectively is empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person, and it plays a critical role in communication. When you are empathetic, you not only understand what the other person is saying, but also appreciate how they are feeling. This deeper understanding allows you to adjust your communication to meet their emotional needs, which in turn makes your message more relevant and impactful. Empathy is particularly important when dealing with sensitive topics or emotionally charged conversations. For example, when speaking with someone who is upset or frustrated, an empathetic response helps you acknowledge their feelings and respond with understanding. Instead of just delivering your message, empathy allows you to consider how the listener is feeling and adjust your tone, delivery, and choice of words accordingly. This creates a more positive environment for dialogue and ensures that your message is both understood and well received. In addition to understanding others' emotions, empathy also enables you to convey your thoughts in a way that respects and acknowledges those emotions. If you're giving feedback to a colleague or discussing a delicate issue with a friend, empathy helps you choose the right words and approach to make sure your message is clear without causing unnecessary harm. By practicing empathy, you create a space for more open and constructive communication, which is essential for building strong, trusting relationships. Motivation is another important aspect of emotional intelligence that influences articulation. When you are motivated to communicate effectively, you are more likely to focus on the message you want to convey and make sure it is clear and impactful. Motivation drives you to engage in conversations with the intention of fostering understanding and achieving positive outcomes. Whether you are speaking to influence others, inform them, or simply connect with them, motivation keeps you focused on your goals and ensures that you remain engaged in the conversation. In the workplace, motivation helps you communicate with purpose and enthusiasm, which in turn makes your ideas more compelling and convincing. When you believe in the importance of your message, your communication is infused with energy and passion, which makes it more likely that others will listen and respond positively. This motivation also helps you push through challenging conversations or disagreements, as you remain focused on finding solutions and maintaining productive dialogue. Motivation not only impacts your ability to articulate effectively, but also helps you overcome challenges that may arise during communication. When you are motivated to improve your communication skills, you are more likely to invest the time and energy necessary to practice and refine those skills. Whether you are preparing for a presentation, working on improving your listening skills, or learning to read nonverbal cues more effectively, motivation provides a drive to continually grow and develop as a communicator. Finally, social skills, the ability to navigate complex social interactions, are crucial for articulating thoughts clearly and building strong relationships. Effective social skills allow you to engage with others in a way that is both respectful and meaningful, creating an environment where ideas can be exchanged freely and openly. Whether you are leading a team, engaging in a difficult conversation, or simply chatting with a friend, strong social skills make it easier to communicate in a way that fosters mutual understanding and cooperation. Effective communication is a skill that encompasses more than just speaking clearly. It involves listening, understanding, and responding appropriately to others. One of the most important aspects of communication that often gets overlooked is active listening. Many people think communication is just about speaking, but true communication is a two-way process. Listening, when done correctly, can transform how your message is received, enhance clarity, and improve relationships. Active listening is a skill that requires effort, focus, and a willingness to engage with the speaker on a deeper level. When we talk about active listening, it's important to recognize that it's not merely hearing what someone is saying, but fully absorbing and interpreting the message. Active listening involves concentrating on the speaker, maintaining eye contact, and providing verbal or nonverbal cues that show you're engaged. These cues can include nodding, making affirming sounds like, "I see," or asking follow-up questions to clarify points. These actions signal to the speaker that you value what they are saying and that their message is being understood. This not only helps you to respond more thoughtfully, but also ensures that you are both on the same page, which improves the quality of the conversation. One of the most crucial parts of active listening is maintaining focus. In a world full of distractions, it's easy to let our minds wander during a conversation. However, allowing distractions, such as thinking about what you're going to say next or checking your phone, can negatively impact your ability to listen actively. When you are distracted, you might miss vital information, misinterpret the speaker's emotions or intentions, and ultimately fail to provide an effective response. By consciously putting away distractions, making an effort to focus, and giving the speaker your undivided attention, you show respect and commitment to understanding their message. Additionally, it's essential to recognize the emotional tone behind the words being spoken. People don't just communicate through content. They also convey emotions through their tone of voice, body language, and facial expressions. Being able to read and interpret these nonverbal cues is a key aspect of active listening. It helps you grasp the underlying message or feelings behind the words, enabling you to respond with empathy and understanding. For instance, someone might say, "I'm fine," but their body language, like slumping shoulders or avoiding eye contact, could indicate that they're not actually okay. Recognizing these emotional cues helps you engage more deeply and respond more appropriately. Furthermore, active listening also involves asking questions and providing feedback. Instead of simply waiting for your turn to speak, take the opportunity to ask clarifying questions that can deepen your understanding. These questions should be open-ended, encouraging the speaker to elaborate on their thoughts and feelings. Questions like, "Can you tell me more about that?" Or, "What do you mean by?" show that you're not just passively hearing, but actively processing the information. Additionally, feedback, whether verbal or nonverbal, helps the speaker know that you are actively involved in the conversation. Simple affirmations like, "I understand," or "That makes sense," can go a long way in making the speaker feel heard. It's also important to listen without judgment or interruption. Many people have a tendency to interrupt, either because they are eager to share their own thoughts or because they think they already know what the other person is going to say. However, interrupting the speaker can hinder the flow of the conversation, cause misunderstandings, and make the other person feel invalidated. Letting the speaker finish before responding shows that you respect their perspective and are willing to take the time to understand their point of view fully. This creates an atmosphere of trust and openness, which can lead to more productive and meaningful conversations. Another aspect of active listening is the use of empathy. When you practice empathy, you go beyond understanding the words and emotions of the speaker. You put yourself in their shoes and truly try to understand their perspective. Empathy helps you connect with the speaker on a deeper level and fosters mutual respect. For example, if someone is sharing a difficult experience, instead of offering quick solutions, you might respond with, "That sounds really tough. How are you feeling about it?" This kind of empathetic response acknowledges their emotions and provides validation, which strengthens a connection between the speaker and listener. Listening is also about being patient. Often, we want to jump in with our own thoughts or solutions, especially when we think we know what the speaker needs. However, effective communication involves giving the other person space to express themselves fully. In situations where people are processing emotions, it's important to allow them the time to articulate their feelings, even if that means sitting in silence for a moment. Patience in listening can encourage the speaker to open up more and feel safe in expressing their thoughts, knowing that they won't be rushed or judged. Active listening is not only beneficial for the speaker, but also for the listener. By listening attentively, you gain a deeper understanding of the other person's thoughts, feelings, and needs, which can improve the quality of your responses. When you respond thoughtfully and appropriately, you demonstrate that you value the other person's perspective. This helps foster stronger relationships and improves collaboration in both personal and professional settings. Moreover, practicing active listening can also help you become a more articulate speaker. By listening closely to others, you can refine your communication style, incorporate new perspectives, and become more adept at expressing your ideas. Active listening is also a crucial component of conflict resolution. In any disagreement or tense conversation, listening carefully to the other person's point of view can help you understand the root of the issue and identify potential solutions. When both parties feel heard, the conversation becomes less about winning an argument and more about finding common ground and resolving the issue collaboratively. Listening is often the first step in de-escalating conflicts and preventing misunderstandings from turning into full-blown disputes. In addition to these benefits, active listening also promotes learning. By listening attentively, you expose yourself to new ideas, viewpoints, and information. Whether you're engaging in professional conversation, learning from a mentor, or discussing a topic with friends, listening is an essential part of the learning process. The more you listen, the more you can absorb, adapt, and apply new knowledge. This makes active listening a key skill in personal growth and development, as it opens you up to a broader understanding of the world around you. Listening, as an active skill, is fundamental to clear and effective communication. It ensures that you understand the messages being conveyed, respond appropriately, and build stronger relationships. Active listening is about giving others the respect and attention they deserve, without distractions, judgments, or interruptions. When you practice active listening, you create an environment of trust, empathy, and understanding, which is essential for meaningful dialogue. To communicate effectively and be truly articulate, it's not enough just to listen or respond thoughtfully. One must also develop the ability to express themselves with clarity and precision. One of the most crucial aspects of articulation is the ability to convey ideas simply and without ambiguity. While many people focus on expanding their vocabulary or using complex sentences to sound more knowledgeable, the most powerful communicators often are those who can simplify their language and make even the most complex ideas accessible to everyone. This chapter focuses on how simplifying language can actually enhance the effectiveness of communication and contribute to better articulation. Simplification does not mean dumbing down ideas. Rather, it involves stripping away unnecessary jargon, eliminating filler words, and choosing language that is straightforward and direct. When we are speaking with clarity, we are more likely to be understood, engaged with, and respected by our audience. One of the biggest barriers to effective communication is complexity. This might be intentional in some cases, such as when someone wants to impress others with their knowledge, but more often than not, complexity causes confusion. The clearer we make our speech, the more likely our message will be received as intended. A critical aspect of simplifying communication is the elimination of filler words. Phrases like, and basically often sneak into our conversations without us realizing it. While these words are sometimes used to fill gaps while thinking, they can also make the speaker sound less confident or less prepared. Filler words take up unnecessary space in our speech, and when we're looking to articulate our thoughts clearly, eliminating them can make a huge difference. Instead of relying on these placeholders, focus on taking a brief pause. Pauses not only give you time to think, but also help emphasize the points you're making. They also allow your audience time to process the information and follow your train of thought. When communicating with others, especially in professional settings, clarity is essential. The ability to simplify complex concepts and break them down into digestible chunks can help the listener understand even the most difficult topics. For example, if you're discussing a new product, rather than overwhelming your audience with technical jargon, you can present the key features and benefits in a way that's relatable and understandable. Instead of saying, "This product integrates a multi-tiered, scalable database solution that optimizes data management through intelligent algorithmic processes," you say, "This product helps you manage your data better and grows with your needs." While simplifying your language, it's also important to strike a balance between being too vague and being too detailed. Oversimplifying a message can result in a loss of critical information or an inability to convey the full depth of the subject matter. On the other hand, excessive detail can overwhelm or confuse the listener. The key is to focus on the core message and leave out anything that doesn't directly contribute to the understanding of that message. A great way to test this is by asking yourself whether every word you say is serving a clear purpose in supporting your main idea. Being articulate also means being mindful of your audience. Understanding who you are speaking to allows you to adjust the level of detail and the language you use to match their knowledge and expectations. For instance, when speaking with a group of experts in a specific field, you may use specialized terminology because they will be familiar with the concepts and vocabulary. However, when speaking to a layperson or someone unfamiliar with the subject, it's important to avoid overwhelming them with technical terms. Articulation, in this case, means adapting your message to ensure it is accessible to the listener, regardless of their background or expertise. In addition to simplifying language, another key element of articulation is structuring your thoughts in a clear, organized way. When presenting ideas, it's important to structure your speech logically, with a clear introduction, body, and conclusion. By laying out your ideas in a step-by-step manner, you help your audience follow your reasoning and stay engaged with your message. If your thoughts are scattered or your points are not connected, it will be difficult for the listener to understand or remember what you are saying. Using tools such as outlines or bullet points can also help you organize your thoughts before communicating, allowing for a clearer and more coherent delivery. Being able to articulate your thoughts clearly also involves avoiding common speech habits that detract from your message. For instance, many speakers make the mistake of over-explaining or repeating points unnecessarily. While reiterating important ideas can be helpful for emphasis, constantly repeating the same information can make your speech seem disorganized or redundant. Instead, focus on emphasizing the key takeaways and allowing your audience to grasp the main points without overwhelming them with repetition. If something is important, find a concise way to highlight it and move on. Another way to improve clarity and articulation is by using examples and analogies to illustrate complex ideas. These tools can help your audience relate to what you are saying, making it easier to understand and remember. For example, if you are explaining a technical process, you could compare it to something more familiar, like a system of gears in a machine. By breaking down the concept into something people can visualize, you make your explanation more relatable and accessible. Good analogies can simplify abstract concepts and make them more concrete, allowing the audience to see connections between the new information and their existing knowledge. One challenge in achieving simplicity in communication is resisting the urge to use overly complex vocabulary to sound more intelligent or authoritative. While vocabulary is important, using long, complicated words can often work against you. This is because large or complex words may make your message seem inaccessible or pretentious. Instead of using jargon to impress others, focus on using clear, straightforward language that gets your point across effectively. In many cases, the simplest word is the most powerful one. For example, saying help instead of assist or use instead of utilize often delivers a message more directly and is easier for the listener to understand. Humility in communication is also key to articulating your ideas effectively. When you speak with humility, you acknowledge that the listener's perspective is just as valuable as your own. Instead of imposing your thoughts on others, you present them in a way that invites discussion and feedback. This openness to other viewpoints fosters a more collaborative and inclusive conversation. It also encourages the listener to engage with your message more fully, as they feel heard and respected in the process. One technique that helps foster humility in communication is the use of I statements rather than you statements. For example, saying, I feel that we should consider a different approach is less confrontational than saying, you are wrong about the approach. By framing your statements with I, you make it clear that you are sharing your own perspective and inviting conversation rather than dictating what others should think. This approach helps maintain a tone of respect and openness while still articulating your point of view. Clarity in communication also comes from practice. The more you work on simplifying your language, organizing your thoughts, and adapting to your audience, the more natural and effective your communication will become. Practice allows you to refine your articulation, eliminate bad habits, and develop a confident, clear speaking style. Whether it's through casual conversations or formal presentations, making the effort to continuously improve your communication skills is crucial to becoming more articulate. Ultimately, simplify your language doesn't mean oversimplifying the message. It's about presenting your ideas in a way that is accessible, clear, and engaging without unnecessary complexity. By focusing on clarity, eliminating filler words, structuring your thoughts, and adapting your language to your audience, you enhance your ability to articulate your ideas in a compelling way. Simplification is not only effective for the listener, but also helps you communicate with more confidence and ease. The ability to think quickly and clearly under pressure is a valuable skill in any communication setting. Whether you're in a high-stakes meeting, having a heated conversation, or responding to unexpected questions, the ability to articulate your thoughts coherently and confidently in such moments can make a significant impact. The key to effective communication in these situations lies in mastering the art of thinking on your feet. In this chapter, we will explore how you can develop this skill and use it to enhance your articulation in challenging and spontaneous conversations. Thinking on your feet refers to the ability to respond to situations quickly and effectively without being overly rehearsed. It requires a combination of clarity, creativity, and emotional regulation. The goal is not just to react impulsively, but to respond with thoughtfulness and precision, ensuring that your message is delivered in a clear and impactful way. While this skill is essential in many situations, such as public speaking or negotiations, it's also important in everyday conversations, where the ability to articulate your thoughts on the spot is just as critical. One of the most significant challenges when trying to think on your feet is the pressure of the moment. In high-pressure situations, the brain can go into overdrive, which might cause anxiety, leading to a loss of clarity in your thinking. This stress can result in jumbled thoughts, nervous speech patterns, and hesitation, all of which hinder effective communication. To avoid these pitfalls, the first step is learning how to manage stress and anxiety before and during spontaneous conversations. One of the most effective techniques for managing pressure in communication is deep breathing. When you're anxious, your body's natural response is to tighten, which can lead to difficulty thinking clearly or speaking fluidly. By taking slow, deep breaths before you respond to a question or comment, you can calm your nervous system and increase your mental clarity. Deep breathing helps you focus on the present moment, providing you with the space to think before you speak. It also slows your heart rate, allowing you to remain calm and composed during conversation. Another way to think more clearly under pressure is by allowing yourself a brief moment of pause. In many situations, people rush to respond, fearing that silence will be interpreted as a lack of knowledge or confidence. However, taking a few seconds to collect your thoughts before answering is a powerful tool. It's a sign of composure and intelligence, as it demonstrates that you are taking the time to provide a thoughtful, well-considered response. Pauses allow you to organize your thoughts and prevent you from reacting hastily or saying something you might later regret. These brief moments also give the listener time to absorb what has been said, making the conversation feel more thoughtful and deliberate. While managing pressure is crucial, another component of thinking on your feet is being prepared for the unexpected. Even in situations that may seem unpredictable, you can still approach them with a strategic mindset. One way to prepare for spontaneous conversations is by staying informed and mentally flexible. Keeping up with current events, understanding key topics relevant to your personal or professional life, and honing your knowledge in areas you frequently engage with ensures that you're not caught off guard when asked a question or presented with challenge. Being mentally prepared allows you to draw on your knowledge and offer insightful answers, even when you're put on the spot. Beyond preparation, it's also important to develop a flexible mindset. Spontaneous conversations are often dynamic, with the flow of the discussion changing rapidly. If you're rigid in your thinking or overly attached to one idea, you'll find it difficult to adjust and contribute meaningfully. Instead, train yourself to be open to new ideas and perspectives, and practice adapting your responses to the flow of conversation. This adaptability will make you a more effective communicator, even in fast-paced or unpredictable situations. Another critical element in thinking on your feet is the ability to simplify complex ideas. In a moment of pressure, it's easy to fall into the trap of over-explaining or using overly technical language to demonstrate expertise. However, this often causes confusion or disengagement from the listener. The key is to break down your thoughts into easily digestible points. When faced with a difficult question or challenge, focus on distilling the core idea and expressing it as clearly and simply as possible. This might mean eliminating unnecessary details, jargon, or overly complex explanations. If your audience can follow your logic and grasp your message quickly, they are more likely to stay engaged and respond positively. Active listening is also an essential skill in thinking on your feet. It's tempting to focus on what you're going to say next rather than truly listening to the other person. However, active listening allows you to respond more thoughtfully and appropriately to what is being asked. When you listen carefully, you can pick up on subtle cues, which can help you tailor your response to the situation. Listening actively not only ensures that you address the question or comment accurately, but also helps you avoid misunderstandings or assumptions that could derail the conversation. By focusing on the speaker, you can engage with their ideas more meaningfully and respond in a way that is relevant and constructive. Another effective strategy for thinking on your feet is practicing improvisational speaking. Like any skill, thinking quickly in conversation improves with practice. Engaging in spontaneous conversations with others, participating in debates, or even joining a public speaking group can help you sharpen your ability to think on your feet. Regular practice helps reduce anxiety and builds confidence, making it easier to articulate your thoughts under pressure. The more you practice responding on the spot, the more naturally you will be able to do so when it matters most. Humor can also play a role in thinking on your feet, particularly in stressful or confrontational situations. A well-timed, lighthearted comment can ease tension, provide clarity, and make the conversation feel more approachable. However, humor should be used carefully and appropriately, as it can backfire if it's perceived as dismissive or insensitive. When used properly, humor helps create a more relaxed atmosphere and allows you to regain control of the conversation, making it easier to articulate your points with confidence. In high-pressure situations, it's essential to stay focused on the key points you want to communicate. Instead of getting bogged down by every detail or overthinking your response, try to focus on one or two main ideas that will advance the conversation or solve the problem at hand. Keeping your message clear and concise ensures that you stay on track and don't become overwhelmed by extraneous information. Prioritize the most important aspects of your message and stay focused on those throughout the conversation. Lastly, having a backup plan or strategy for managing unexpected situations can help you feel more in control. For instance, if you're asked a question you don't know the answer to, instead of panicking, you can confidently say, "That's a great question. I'll need to look into that further, but I can follow up with you afterward." This approach allows you to remain composed and demonstrates that you're honest, reliable, and willing to engage further. Acknowledge when you don't have all the answers, but maintain a positive attitude and a willingness to find a solution. Thinking on your feet is a skill that can be developed over time with practice and patience. By learning to manage stress, listening actively, staying prepared, simplifying complex ideas, and practicing improvisational speaking, you can improve your ability to communicate clearly and confidently in any situation. Whether you're answering a challenging question, navigating a difficult conversation, or responding to unexpected events, being able to think quickly and articulate your thoughts effectively will enhance your communication and help you connect more meaningfully with others. In any communication, especially in professional and personal settings, being clear and concise is essential for ensuring your message is understood and respected. The ability to articulate your thoughts without unnecessary embellishments or over-explanation is a key skill that can help you maintain clarity and effectively convey your ideas. This chapter focuses on the importance of brevity in communication and how mastering the art of being concise can significantly enhance your articulation and the impact of your message. Many people believe that to be taken seriously or to seem more knowledgeable, they need to speak at length or use complicated language. However, brevity often works better than verbosity in making a strong impression. In fact, the most effective communicators are those who can express their ideas clearly without extraneous details or confusing terminology. This does not mean eliminating important information, but rather delivering it in a way that is direct and to the point. The first step in becoming more concise in your communication is to focus on the core message you want to convey before you speak. Take a moment to organize your thoughts and consider what your main point is. Think about the key message you want to share and avoid including unnecessary background information, stories, or tangents unless they directly support or clarify your point. By identifying and sticking to most important aspects of your message, you'll be able to communicate more effectively, ensuring that your audience understands your ideas without feeling overwhelmed. Another important aspect of being concise is choosing your words carefully. Rather than using overly complex vocabulary or long-winded sentences, aim to use simple, direct language that gets your point across quickly and clearly. Often, people fall into the trap of using jargon or technical terms to sound more professional, but this can alienate or confuse listeners, especially if they're not familiar with the terms you're using. Focus on using language that is accessible to your audience and keep your sentences short and straightforward. The goal is to make your message easily digestible without sacrificing its meaning or depth. In addition to simplifying your language, it's crucial to remove filler words or phrases that add no value to the conversation. Words like just, actually, basically, and I think are often used as verbal crutches, and while they may feel natural in casual conversation, they can make you sound less confident and less clear. Eliminating these unnecessary fillers can streamline your speech and make it more powerful. Instead of saying, I think that we should just focus on the main issue here, say, we should focus on the main issue. This revision is more direct, assertive, and clear. Being concise also involves being mindful of your tone and pacing. If you speak too quickly or too slowly, it can be difficult for your audience to absorb the information. Speaking at a comfortable pace, with appropriate pauses, helps your audience process your message and gives you time to think as you articulate your thoughts. Pauses also allow you to emphasize key points, giving them more weight and ensuring that they stand out. By speaking clearly and at an even pace, you increase the likelihood that your message will be understood and remembered. In conversations and meetings, brevity also requires the ability to stay focused and avoid going off topic. It's easy to get distracted by unrelated details or to begin explaining things that are only loosely related to the main point. However, staying on track and addressing the matter at hand is crucial for maintaining clarity and keeping the attention of your audience. If you find yourself veering off course, gently guide the conversation back to the main topic. This ensures that your message remains relevant and that your listeners don't get lost in unnecessary details. One of the challenges of being concise is the fear of leaving something important out. Often, people are hesitant to speak briefly because they worry that they might not be covering all the necessary information. However, being concise doesn't mean neglecting important details. It means presenting them in the most efficient way possible. Think of your message as a well-structured outline. Focus on the key points, and if necessary, follow up with additional information or elaboration later. Providing just enough detail to support your point will make your communication more powerful and ensure that your message resonates without becoming diluted. In some situations, being concise means knowing when to stop talking. The art of brevity is not just about shortening your sentences, but also about avoiding over-explanation. When you've made your point, there's no need to continue elaborating on the same idea or repeating yourself. Over-explaining can diminish the impact of your message and cause your audience to lose interest. Instead, leave space for your audience to reflect on what you've said and engage with the conversation. If there's a need for further clarification, the opportunity for follow-up questions will arise. It's also important to be aware of your audience and the context in which you are communicating. In a professional or business setting, concise communication is especially valuable because time is often limited and clarity is paramount. In these environments, being able to get to the heart of the matter quickly shows respect for other people's time and makes you appear more competent and prepared. In contrast, in casual or social settings, being concise might not always be necessary. However, even in these situations, people appreciate when conversations are meaningful and to the point. Avoiding unnecessary small talk or rambling helps create more efficient and enjoyable interactions. Mastering the art of brevity can also help you become more persuasive in your communication. When you make your points clearly and directly, your audience is more likely to listen and consider your ideas. Concise communication is often more convincing because it shows that you thought carefully about your message and are confident in delivering it. This is especially important in situations where you need to persuade or influence others, such as in sales, negotiations, or leadership roles. By presenting your ideas in a succinct manner, you make it easier for others to follow your argument and take action based on what you've said. In addition to the benefits of clarity and persuasion, being concise also helps build trust and credibility. People are more likely to trust someone who can articulate their ideas without unnecessary filler or ambiguity. When you speak clearly and to the point, you convey confidence in your message, which in turn encourages others to take you seriously. On the other hand, long-winded explanations or convoluted language can make you seem uncertain or evasive, which can undermine your credibility. To develop the ability to communicate concisely, practice is key. Start by examining your own speech patterns and identifying areas where you tend to over-explain or use unnecessary filler words. Pay attention to the way others communicate and observe how they manage brevity in their speech. You can also practice by summarizing your thoughts in a few sentences or writing brief, concise messages in emails or text messages. Over time, you'll become more comfortable with expressing yourself clearly and concisely, and this skill will become second nature. In conclusion, being concise is not about omitting important information, but rather about presenting it in the most efficient and impactful way. By focusing on the key message, eliminating unnecessary words and details, and speaking with clarity and confidence, you'll improve your ability to articulate your thoughts effectively. Concise communication allows you to convey your ideas with precision, maintain the attention of your audience, and strengthen your influence in any conversation or situation. Whether you are in a business meeting, giving a presentation, or having a casual conversation, mastering brevity will help you become a more articulate and effective communicator. In any form of communication, whether personal or professional, clarity is one of the most important factors that determine how well your message is received. Without clarity, your audience may misinterpret your words, leading to confusion or misunderstanding. Achieving clarity in communication requires you to organize your thoughts, avoid vagueness, and present your ideas in a straightforward, easy-to-understand manner. In this chapter, we will explore the key techniques for achieving clarity in your communication, allowing you to express yourself with confidence and ensure that your ideas are understood. One of the most fundamental aspects of clarity is organizing your thoughts before you speak. When your ideas are disorganized, it becomes difficult for your audience to follow your message. Organizing your thoughts involves identifying the key points you want to make and arranging them in a logical order. This could mean starting with the most important point and following up with supporting details, or it could mean laying out your ideas in a step-by-step sequence. Whether you're giving a presentation or having conversation, taking a moment to mentally outline your key points will help you present them clearly and avoid rambling or losing your train of thought. When speaking, it's important to focus on one idea at a time. Jumping from one thought to another without completing a point or explaining it properly can confuse your audience and make it difficult for them to follow along. Instead, clearly state your main point, elaborate on it, and then transition to the next idea. By keeping your message focused on one idea at a time, you ensure that your audience grasps each concept before moving on to the next. This approach helps prevent information overload and allows the listener to process what you've said more easily. Another key element of clear communication is avoiding ambiguity. Ambiguity occurs when your message is vague or open to multiple interpretations. To avoid ambiguity, be specific in your language and avoid using words or phrases that could have more than one meaning. For example, instead of saying, "I think we should probably do this soon," be more direct by saying, "I recommend that we take action on this by Friday." By removing uncertainty from your speech and being specific about what you want or need, you increase the likelihood that your message will be understood as intended. In addition to being specific, you should also make an effort to use simple language that your audience can easily understand. While it might be tempting to use complex or technical terms to sound more knowledgeable, this can alienate or confuse your listeners, especially if they are not familiar with the subject matter. Aim to use everyday language that is accessible to everyone, regardless of their background or expertise. If you must use specialized terminology, be sure to explain it clearly to ensure your audience can follow your message. Another important technique for achieving clarity is using examples or analogies to help explain complex concepts. Examples and analogies provide a concrete reference that makes abstract ideas easier to understand. For instance, if you are explaining how a new software program works, you might compare it to something familiar, like using a smartphone app. By relating the unfamiliar to the familiar, you create a bridge that helps your audience connect with your ideas on a deeper level. Pauses are also a valuable tool in ensuring clarity in communication. When speaking, it can be easy to rush through your words or to fill silence with filler words like, or you know. However, taking deliberate pauses between your points not only gives you time to collect your thoughts, but also allows your audience to absorb what you've said. Pauses also add emphasis to key points, making them stand out in the listener's mind. When you pause, you signal that what you're about to say is important, and you give your audience the space to reflect on it before moving on to the next point. Clarity is also enhanced by the way you structure your speech. When presenting your ideas, it helps to break them down into smaller, more digestible sections. Instead of overwhelming your audience with a long list of points or a complex explanation, structure your communication with an introduction, main body, and conclusion. This structure provides a roadmap for your audience to follow, making it easier for them to understand the flow of your message. In addition to having a clear structure, use transitions between ideas to guide your audience through your speech. Phrases like, "in addition to that," or "let me explain further," help signal when you're moving on to a new point, which keeps the conversation organized and easier to follow. One technique that can significantly improve clarity in your communication is summarizing key points. After you've made an important point or explained a complex idea, take a moment to summarize what you've said. This allows your audience to process the information and reinforces the main takeaways. It also gives you the chance to clarify any misunderstandings before moving on to the next topic. Summarizing is especially helpful in long conversations or presentations, where it's easy for listeners to lose track of important details. The tone of your voice also plays a crucial role in ensuring clarity. A monotone or rushed delivery can make it difficult for the listener to engage with your message, whereas varying your tone and pacing can add emphasis to important ideas and help maintain interest. Speak with appropriate volume, enunciating your words clearly to ensure that everyone in the room can hear and understand you. By paying attention to your tone, you make your speech more dynamic and engaging, helping to drive home your message and maintain your audience's attention. Active listening is another aspect of clarity in communication. While speaking clearly is important, being an active listener ensures that you understand the needs, concerns, and feedback of others. When you actively listen, you can adjust your communication to address questions, concerns, or misunderstandings that arise during the conversation. By demonstrating that you are attentive and responsive, you increase the chances of achieving mutual understanding and a productive exchange of ideas. The environment in which you communicate can also influence the clarity of your message. Try to ensure that you are speaking in a setting where there are minimal distractions. If you are in a noisy room, for example, it may be difficult for your audience to hear and focus on what you're saying. Try to choose a quiet space or use a microphone if necessary. A clear and uninterrupted environment enhances the effectiveness of your communication, ensuring that your message is delivered without hindrance. Finally, clarity is enhanced by feedback. After communicating, ask your audience if they have understood your message or if anything needs clarification. This not only helps you gauge whether your communication was successful, but also opens the door for further discussion and understanding. Feedback allows you to adjust your communication style and approach in future interactions, helping you become even more effective in expressing yourself clearly. To communicate effectively, it's essential to focus on clarity. Whether you're giving a presentation, having a one-on-one conversation, or writing an email, organizing your thoughts, using simple language, avoiding ambiguity, and actively engaging with your audience are key techniques for ensuring your message is understood. By mastering these elements, you can become a more articulate communicator who is able to express ideas with precision and confidence, ultimately achieving stronger connections and better outcomes in all aspects of your communication. Effective communication in any environment is not just about speaking well, but also about having the ability to think and express ideas clearly and logically. One of the fundamental components of clear communication is structure. A well-organized message ensures that your ideas are delivered in a way that is easy for the audience to follow, which enhances understanding and retention. This chapter delves into the importance of structuring your communication, whether it's a casual conversation, a formal presentation, or even written communication. The first step to organizing your thoughts is understanding what you want to communicate and why. Before speaking, it's important to pause and reflect on the key points you want to make. This helps ensure that your message is focused and doesn't wander off course. One of the best ways to structure your ideas is by following the basic format of introduction, body, and conclusion. This simple structure can be applied to almost any form of communication. In the introduction, you should clearly state the purpose of your communication, whether you're addressing a group at a meeting or sharing an idea with a friend. Setting the stage early helps the audience understand what to expect. A clear and concise introduction helps guide the listener, giving them context and a reason to pay attention to the message you are about to deliver. After introducing your topic, the next part of your message is a body, where you dive into the details of your main points. The body should be well organized and focused on the core message you want to deliver. It's easy to get carried away and include irrelevant details, but a structured body keeps the listener engaged. When speaking or writing, break down your ideas into smaller, manageable sections. This makes your message more digestible and ensures the audience doesn't become overwhelmed by too much information at once. The most effective communicators present their ideas in a logical order. Depending on the type of communication, you may choose to order your points by importance, chronologically, or by cause and effect. For example, if you're giving a presentation, you may begin with the most important points, followed by supporting details or examples. If you're telling a story, organizing events chronologically can help the listener follow along without confusion. Each point in the body should be clearly connected to the overall message. Use transitions to link your ideas together smoothly. Transition phrases like, on the other hand, in addition, and as a result, help guide the listener through conversation, signaling when you're moving from one point to another. This ensures your message flows logically, preventing the listener from getting lost in disjointed thoughts or fragmented ideas. In addition to providing structure, it's important to choose the right language to communicate effectively. Simple, clear language makes your message more accessible to a wider audience. Avoid using jargon or overly complicated vocabulary unless it's necessary for the context and the listener understands it. Clear communication often involves stripping away excess words or phrases that don't add value to your message. Supporting your points with evidence or examples strengthens your argument and makes your ideas more convincing. Whether it's data, anecdotes, or visual aids, having concrete examples allows the audience to better understand and relate to your message. For instance, when explaining a new concept or product, a real-life example or analogy can make the idea more tangible and easier for your audience to grasp. Visual aids, when used appropriately, can also help clarify your message. Graphs, charts, and images help translate complex ideas into easy-to-understand visuals. In a professional setting, visuals can emphasize key points and give the audience a clearer picture of what you are saying. For example, If you're discussing a trend in sales over the past year, a graph can immediately convey the information much more effectively than words alone. However, it's essential to make sure that your visuals are simple and directly related to your message. Overcomplicating visuals or using too many can have the opposite effect, making your message harder to digest. Clarity and structure is equally important when you conclude your communication. A strong conclusion reinforces the key points you've made and helps your audience remember your message. This is your opportunity to drive home the main idea and leave a lasting impression. When wrapping up, you can briefly summarize the key points you've made and offer a final thought or call to action. A clear and concise conclusion signals to the listener that the conversation is coming to an end and ensures they leave with a clear understanding of what was discussed. In any communication, especially longer or more formal ones, avoid overloading the listener with too much information at once. Focusing on one point at a time and staying concise allows your audience to absorb the key takeaways more effectively. When you deliver information in small, digestible chunks, it's easier for your audience to process and retain what you've said. For example, if you're leading a meeting, instead of bombarding everyone with a long list of points, focus on a few main topics, providing enough details for clarity, and leaving room for discussion or questions. Keeping your message focused and succinct also avoids the risk of over-explaining or repeating the same ideas. Sometimes, speakers think that reiterating their points will help reinforce them, but this can lead to redundancy and boredom. Instead of repeating the same information, try summarizing the key points at the end of your message, leaving room for others to engage in the conversation. As you work to improve the structure of your communication, be aware of the pace at which you deliver your message. Speaking too quickly can confuse the listener, while speaking too slowly may cause disengagement. Find a balanced pace that allows your audience to absorb your message but doesn't drag on too long. Pauses can also be incredibly powerful when speaking. They give the listener time to reflect on what you've said and can help emphasize your main points. Pause in between thoughts also gives you time to gather your next ideas, making your speech feel more intentional and measured. In group discussions or meetings, managing the conversation structure can be a helpful way to keep things organized and on track. If the conversation starts to go off course, gently redirecting the group back to the central points can ensure that the discussion remains productive. Using structure allows you to be more in control of the conversation, guiding it in a direction that is most beneficial to achieving your goals. Another technique that improves communication structure is active listening. While speaking clearly is essential, listening attentively allows you to respond more thoughtfully, adjust your message if necessary, and ensure mutual understanding. By being present in the conversation and engaging with others' ideas, you make the exchange more collaborative and dynamic. The effectiveness of your communication also depends on your ability to be flexible with your structure. While having a clear framework is essential, being able to adapt the structure based on the situation or the audience's needs is equally important. For instance, if you're having a casual conversation with a friend, the need for a formal structure might be less critical than when presenting to a group of colleagues. Understanding your audience and adjusting accordingly helps make your communication more impactful. With practice, you can develop a natural flow of structured communication that allows you to express your ideas clearly and with precision. Whether you're speaking in front of an audience, participating in a team meeting, or simply engaging in a one-on-one conversation, structuring your message will make you more effective at conveying your ideas. A clear and organized structure not only helps ensure that your ideas are understood, but also allows you to engage your audience in a way that makes the conversation more meaningful and productive. Articulation is not just about speaking clearly. It also involves tailoring your message to the needs of your audience. One of the key factors in effective communication is understanding your audience and adjusting your message to ensure it resonates with them. This chapter explores the importance of audience awareness in communication and provides strategies for adapting your message based on who you're speaking to, ensuring that your ideas are both understood and appreciated. The first step in tailoring your message is knowing who your audience is. Every audience has different expectations, levels of understanding, and interests. In professional settings, this could mean adjusting your language and tone based on whether you are addressing a team of experts, clients, or senior executives. In personal conversations, It may involve considering the emotional state, background, or knowledge of the person you're speaking with. By understanding your audience, you can customize your message to better connect with them, making it more likely that your communication will be effective. One important aspect of audience awareness is understanding the level of familiarity your audience has with the topic you're discussing. For example, if you're explaining a technical process to a group of specialists, you can use industry-specific terminology and delve into more detailed explanations. However, if you're speaking to someone who is unfamiliar with the subject, it's crucial to simplify your language and avoid jargon. The goal is to make sure your message is accessible, engaging, and clear to the listener. This often requires using analogies, examples, and simple language that anyone can understand, regardless of their expertise. Similarly, the tone and style of your communication should align with your audience's expectations. For instance, in a formal business presentation, your tone should be professional and measured, while in casual settings, you may want to adopt a more relaxed and conversational tone. The tone helps convey the mood of your message, and adjusting it appropriately ensures that the audience feels comfortable and engaged. In a high-stakes meeting or negotiation, a confident, assertive tone might be necessary to convey authority, while in a brainstorming session, a more collaborative tone may be beneficial to encourage creative ideas. Understanding the emotional state of your audience is also an essential element of audience awareness. If someone is upset or frustrated, you may need to approach the conversation differently than if they are calm and receptive. Recognizing emotional cues, such as body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice, can help you adapt your message accordingly. In emotionally charged situations, it's important to approach the conversation with empathy, offering support and understanding while articulating your point clearly. This not only helps diffuse tension, but also ensures that your message is well received. One way to gauge your audience's understanding during a conversation or presentation is to ask questions or solicit feedback. This gives you the opportunity to assess how well your message is being received and whether further clarification is needed. For example, asking, "Does that make sense?" or "Would you like me to explain that further?" allows your audience to confirm their understanding and gives you the chance to adjust your communication if necessary. Asking for feedback can also create a more interactive and dynamic conversation, allowing the audience to engage more deeply with the topic. Another important strategy for tailoring your message is to consider the goals of your communication. What do you want to achieve with your message? Are you trying to inform, persuade, entertain, or inspire? Understanding the purpose of your communication helps you structure your message in a way that achieves your desired outcome. If you're trying to persuade someone to take action, for example, you may need to present compelling arguments, provide evidence, and address potential concerns. On the other hand, if your goal is to inform, clarity and simplicity will be key. Knowing your objectives allows you to focus your message and ensure that it serves your purpose. In professional settings, especially in leadership and management roles, tailoring your message to the audience is critical for effective teamwork and decision-making. As a leader, you must adapt your communication style based on the needs of your team members. For example, when giving feedback to an employee, your approach should be different depending on whether the person is a new hire, a peer, or a senior colleague. Providing constructive feedback to a new team member may require more guidance and encouragement, while giving feedback to a seasoned employee may focus more on performance and results. By adjusting your message based on the audience's experience and relationship to the topic, you create a more effective and personalized communication experience. Another factor to consider when tailoring your message is cultural awareness. Different cultures have different communication norms, and being sensitive to these differences is essential for ensuring your message is understood and respected. For example, in some cultures, direct communication is valued, while in others, indirect communication is preferred. Similarly, some cultures place a strong emphasis on hierarchy and formal titles, while others favor a more egalitarian approach. Being aware of these cultural differences and adjusting your message accordingly can help you navigate cross-cultural communication with respect and sensitivity. The environment in which communication takes place also plays a significant role in tailoring your message. The context of the conversation or presentation should influence how you structure and deliver your message. In a formal meeting or conference, for instance, your message will likely need to be more structured, formal, and data-driven. However, In a casual discussion over lunch, your approach may be more conversational, personal, and relaxed. Understanding the context helps you choose the appropriate tone, level of detail, and style of communication that is most suitable for the situation. Adapting your message to your audience also involves being flexible and responsive during the conversation. If the audience seems confused or disengaged, it's essential to adjust your approach, either by simplifying your explanation or providing more context. If the listener appears intrigued and engaged, you might choose to elaborate more on your ideas. Being aware of the reactions of your audience allows you to fine-tune your message in real time, making it more likely that you will achieve the desired outcome. One effective tool for tailoring your message is using storytelling. Stories are powerful because they connect with people on an emotional level, making complex or abstract concepts easier to understand. When communicating with a specific audience, think about how a well-chosen story can make your message more relatable and engaging. A relevant anecdote or personal experience can help illustrate your points, especially if your audience has limited knowledge of the topic. The key is to keep the story concise, relevant, and directly tied to the message you're trying to convey. In conclusion, tailoring your message to your audience is a crucial aspect of effective communication. By understanding the needs, expectations, and emotions of your audience, you can adapt your language, tone, and approach to ensure that your message is not only understood, but also impactful. Whether you're speaking to colleagues, clients, or friends, adjusting your communication style increases the chances of fostering strong connections, building trust, and achieving your communication goals. By being aware of your audience's background, emotions, and expectations, you can ensure that your message resonates in the most effective way possible. One of the biggest obstacles to effective communication is the fear of judgment or making mistakes, especially when speaking in public or addressing a group. Many people struggle with anxiety, self-doubt, or the fear of being misunderstood. However, overcoming this fear is crucial for becoming more articulate and communicating confidently. In this chapter, we will explore strategies for managing anxiety, building confidence, and becoming more comfortable with public speaking, so you can express yourself clearly and persuasively without fear of judgment. The first step in overcoming the fear of judgment is recognizing that everyone experiences anxiety to some degree. Even the most seasoned speakers or communicators have moments of doubt or nervousness. It's completely normal to feel a little nervous before speaking, whether in front of a group or in a one-on-one conversation. However, the key is to not let that anxiety control you or prevent you from communicating effectively. Acknowledging that you're not alone in feeling nervous is a good starting point. Once you recognize that these feelings are a natural part of the process, it becomes easier to manage them. One of the most effective ways to manage anxiety is through preparation. The more prepared you are, the more confident you will feel about communicating. This applies to both formal presentations and informal conversations. Preparation allows you to organize your thoughts, anticipate questions or concerns, and rehearse your delivery, which can alleviate a great deal of uncertainty. When you know what you're going to say and how you want to say it, you reduce the chance of being caught off guard, making it easier to stay calm and articulate during the conversation. For formal presentations, preparation can involve rehearsing in front of a mirror, recording yourself, or practicing in front of a trusted friend or colleague. This allows you to become more familiar with your material and refine your delivery. By practicing, you become more comfortable with the content and less likely to stumble over words or forget key points. Additionally, rehearsing helps you become aware of any nervous habits, such as speaking too quickly or fidgeting, so you can address them before speaking in front of an audience. Another strategy for managing anxiety is deep breathing. When we feel nervous, our breathing becomes shallow and rapid, which can exacerbate feelings of panic and make it harder to think clearly. Deep breathing helps slow the heart rate, relax the muscles, and clear the mind. Before speaking, take a few deep breaths to center yourself and calm your nerves. Inhale slowly for a count of 4, hold for a moment, and then exhale for a count of 4. This simple technique can help you regain focus and reduce anxiety, allowing you to communicate more clearly and confidently. Visualization is another powerful tool for overcoming fear. Many people who experience anxiety before speaking have negative thoughts, imagining worst-case scenarios, such as forgetting their lines or being judged by their audience. By using visualization, you can replace these negative thoughts with positive, success-oriented imagery before speaking. Take a few moments to close your eyes and visualize yourself speaking confidently, articulating your thoughts clearly, and engaging your audience successfully. This mental rehearsal can boost your self-esteem and help you approach the situation with a more positive mindset. In addition to these strategies, it's essential to reframe your perspective on judgment. Many people fear judgment because they're overly focused on how others perceive them. However, it's important to remember that most people are not judging you as harshly as you may think. In fact, the audience is generally more focused on the message you're delivering than on how you're delivering it. Shifting your focus from how you appear to what you're trying to communicate helps reduce the pressure to be perfect and allows you to focus on the content of your message. Another way to reframe your fear of judgment is to embrace the idea of imperfection. No one is perfect, and mistakes are inevitable in any form of communication. Rather than fearing mistakes, learn to accept them as part of the process. If you misspeak or forget a point, don't let it derail your entire conversation. Simply acknowledge the mistake, correct it if necessary, and move forward. Being able to laugh at yourself or brush off small errors shows confidence and makes you appear more relatable to your audience. Perfectionism can be paralyzing, but embracing imperfection allows you to speak more naturally and confidently. Building self-confidence is also a critical component of overcoming the fear of judgment. Confidence comes from experience, preparation, and positive reinforcement. The more you practice speaking and communicating with others, the more comfortable and confident you will become. Start with smaller, low-pressure conversations and gradually work your way up to more challenging situations, such as public speaking or presenting to larger groups. Every experience you have will build your confidence and reduce your fear of judgment. Positive reinforcement from others can also help boost your confidence. After a conversation or presentation, seek constructive feedback from colleagues, friends, or mentors. They can offer valuable insights into what you did well and where you can improve. Celebrating small victories and acknowledging your progress helps reinforce your belief in your abilities and encourages continued growth. Over time, you'll become more confident in your communication skills and less fearful of judgment. One of the best ways to overcome anxiety and build confidence is to shift your focus to the value of your message rather than on yourself. Often, the fear of judgment stems from worrying about how others perceive us, but effective communicators focus on the importance of the message they are sharing. When you are passionate about your message and believe in its value, you are less likely to be distracted by thoughts of judgment or perfectionism. Instead, you can concentrate on delivering your message with clarity and conviction, knowing that your ideas are worth sharing. Another useful technique for overcoming fear is to start small and gradually increase the level of difficulty. If the idea of speaking in front of a large group terrifies you, start by speaking in smaller, more comfortable settings. This might involve presenting in front of a colleague or discussing ideas in a small team meeting. As you gain confidence in these smaller interactions, you can gradually build up to larger audiences. Taking small steps helps you become more comfortable with public speaking and reduces anxiety over time. Finally, remember that it's okay to feel nervous. Nervousness is a natural part of communication, especially when you are speaking in front of others. However, the key is to manage that nervousness so that it doesn't interfere with your ability to articulate your thoughts. By preparing thoroughly, practicing regularly, using relaxation techniques, and shifting your focus away from fear, you can overcome anxiety and become a more confident communicator. Fear of judgment is a common obstacle that many people face in communication, but it is not something that needs to control you. By using strategies like preparation, deep breathing, visualization, reframing, and focusing on the value of your message, you can reduce anxiety and communicate with confidence. With practice and experience, you will become more comfortable in high-pressure situations, and your articulation will improve, allowing you to express yourself clearly and persuasively, free from the fear of judgment. Effective communication is not just about how well you speak or how confidently you present your ideas. It's also about how you handle your message and connect with your audience. One of the most important skills to master is the ability to engage your listeners, keep them interested, and ensure that your message resonates with them. The art of engaging your audience requires more than just conveying information. It's about creating a dialogue, fostering connection, and making sure that your communication leaves a lasting impact. In this final chapter, we'll explore key techniques for keeping your audience engaged and ensuring that your communication is both compelling and memorable. The first step in engaging your audience is understanding their needs, interests, and expectations. Whether you're giving a formal presentation or having a casual conversation, tailoring your message to your audience ensures that your communication resonates with them. Think about the context and purpose of your conversation. What does your audience care about? What do they need from you? If you're addressing a group of colleagues in a meeting, for example, they may be most interested in practical solutions and actionable information. If you're speaking to a group of clients, they might be more focused on how your message or product benefits them. Understanding your audience helps you craft a message that meets their needs and captures their attention. One of the most effective ways to engage your audience is by telling stories. People are naturally drawn to narratives because they help make abstract ideas more relatable and easier to understand. A well-told story can captivate the audience and bring your message to life. Whether you're sharing a personal anecdote, a success story, or a case study, stories help create an emotional connection with your listeners. They make your message more memorable and give it context that makes it feel relevant and real. A good story can transform a simple point into something powerful, making it easier for your audience to absorb and internalize. When telling a story, it's important to make it relatable to your audience. Choose examples or anecdotes that align with their experiences, values, or interests. For instance, if you're speaking to a team of employees about overcoming a challenge, you might share a story about a similar struggle and how it was resolved, demonstrating how the lessons learned can apply to their own work. Personal stories or stories from shared experiences help build rapport and make your message more engaging. People are more likely to remember and respond to a message that they feel personally connected to. In addition to storytelling, another technique for keeping your audience engaged is using questions. Asking your audience questions, whether rhetorical or direct, invites them to think critically about your message and become more involved in the conversation. Questions spark curiosity and keep the audience mentally active rather than passively receiving information. In a presentation, you might ask questions like, "What do you think about this idea?" Or, "How does this relate to your own experiences?" These questions invite responses and encourage participation, making the experience more interactive and engaging. Even in a one-on-one conversation, asking thoughtful questions can help you maintain engagement and make the conversation more dynamic. It shows the other person that you value their input and that you're interested in hearing their perspective. When both parties are actively engaged in the conversation, the communication becomes more meaningful and productive. Another way to engage your audience is by varying your tone, pace, and volume. Monotony is one of the biggest killers of engagement, especially in presentations or speeches. If you speak in a flat or monotonous voice, your audience is more likely to lose focus or tune out. Instead, vary your tone and pace to keep the conversation dynamic and interesting. Emphasize key points with a slightly higher volume. Slow down when discussing important ideas, and adjust your tone to reflect the emotion or significance of what you're saying. This variation in delivery helps hold your audience's attention and keeps them mentally engaged. Additionally, using body language effectively can enhance your ability to engage your audience. Nonverbal cues, such as maintaining eye contact, using hand gestures, and moving around the space, can emphasize your points and create a sense of connection. Engaging body language makes you appear more confident and approachable, while also reinforcing the ideas you're communicating. For example, if you're explaining a concept and you gesture with your hands, it helps to visually convey the idea, making it easier for your audience to follow along. Similarly, if you make eye contact with different members of your audience, it makes them feel included and engaged, as though they are part of the conversation. If you're presenting to a large group, engaging the entire audience can be challenging, but it's not impossible. Use questions, polls, or activities to get the audience involved. For example, if you're giving a presentation and want to engage your audience, you could ask them to raise their hands in response to a question or provide feedback during a short group discussion. The more interactive you make the presentation, the more likely your audience will stay engaged and retain the information. Another crucial aspect of engagement is clarity. When your message is clear and well-structured, It's easier for the audience to follow along and stay engaged. If your ideas are jumbled or unclear, the audience might become frustrated or disengage. Take the time to organize your thoughts before speaking, making sure that each point builds upon the previous one. Use transitions to guide your audience through the conversation, and pause when necessary to ensure that your audience has time to process the information. Keeping things clear and concise ensures that your message resonates and that your audience remains engaged from start to finish. Humor is another tool that can enhance engagement, but it must be used thoughtfully and appropriately. A well-timed joke or lighthearted comment can break the ice, create rapport, and make your message more memorable. Humor helps humanize you as a speaker, making you more relatable and approachable. However, it's important to be mindful of the context and audience. What may be funny in one setting may not be appropriate in another. The key is to use humor in a way that complements your message and makes your audience feel comfortable and engaged. One final way to ensure your audience remains engaged is by providing a call to action. A call to action encourages your audience to take the next step, whether it's implementing the ideas you've discussed, providing feedback, or engaging in a follow-up conversation. Having a clear call to action gives your message purpose and direction, ensuring that your audience knows what to do next. This is especially important in professional or persuasive communication, where you want the listener to act on what you've said. The ability to engage your audience is a vital skill in communication, and it requires a combination of preparation, delivery, and active interaction. Whether you're giving a formal presentation, having a conversation with a colleague, or speaking with friends, keeping your audience engaged ensures that your message is both understood and appreciated. By using storytelling, asking questions, varying your delivery, and incorporating interactive elements, you can create a more dynamic and engaging conversation. With practice, you can develop the ability to communicate in a way that captivates your audience and leaves a lasting impact.